He's cleaning cookware. Good morning and welcome back to G&G Farms. So today's video is going to be just a little bit different. We went to the thrift store and we were able to come up with a couple of cast iron pieces. Now I'm going to hold this up. It's pretty heavy. It's got a little rust on it. It is a two-sided griddle that we can use. But we also found a couple of iron skillets and iron pots. Now, if you live in the South, you pretty much use cast iron on a regular basis. It's because of the versatility of cast iron. Now, let's go a little bit deeper with this. You can take it camping. You can use it at home to cook with. It makes great cornbread and steaks and stuff like that. But the deeper part of that is being prepared. So are you prepared if a major catastrophe came about? A few years ago, we had a hurricane that came through the central Alabama, knocked out power for everyone for a couple of weeks, I think was the most time that we were without power. But those who had cast iron and a heat source like a gas grill or an open fire outside, we were able to cook our meals and prepare them. Of course, we did share with other people, but sometimes it's all about being prepared. So today, this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to take these cast iron pieces that we found at the thrift store for a little bit of nothing, and I'm going to clean them up my way. Now, my husband has his own channel. It's called Campfire and Countryside. He is cleaning up some cast iron pieces his way. So it's two different methods, and the reason we're doing this is we've not done this before, and we're going to compare the results, and we're going to say what we liked about it and what we didn't like about it. And I'll leave the link to his channel on this video down in the description box so you can see both methods. Now, the method that I'm going to use is I'm going to put it in my oven on the self-cleaning mode. And I'm going to burn all that crud off of there, and then I'm going to use the same oven to re-season the cast iron. Now, he is using a totally different method, and he's doing his in the yard because his might get a little messy. And then we're going to put them both in the oven. Both methods have to go in the oven later to re-season. So we're going to re-season them all at the same time in the same oven. But the cleaning part is what we are going to compare methods on. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment. Let us know what you think about our methods and which one that you prefer. And don't forget to go to his channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell him if you like his method. And what a trooper, right? He's cleaning cookware. So what I'm going to do before I start to clean this cast iron is I'm going to put down oven liners. Now, I put down two and kind of overlapped them because one was not quite big enough to cover the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cast iron in here and then turn the oven on self-clean, and let's take a look at that. Okay, so we're going to try this. I'm not sure how this will turn out, but I did put the big grill type cast iron piece up there. And I put a couple of skillets down here. They're not real yucky. The ones that I'm doing are they're just not real yucky. I was hoping to get a piece that was real yucky, but by the time hubby got done with what he was cleaning, he had gotten the worst pieces and kind of left me with the not so dirty stuff. So we'll just have to take that into account. But I do have a small skillet or steak skillet here, and then two skillets that just kind of, they've got a little bit of buildup on them, mostly on the outside. There is one that I was using for cornbread, and it sort of lost its seasoning in some places and had some gunk on it. So let's go ahead and turn this on and see what happens. Now, these oven liners here, because I like for my oven to stay clean. so I want to keep that down there, and hopefully it won't get too much bad stuff on it. So let's try this. All right, let's see. Self-clean. We're going to do self-clean, and let's do the 3-hour one first, because when I got instructions for this, it was for 4 hours for heavily soiled, and mine comes in 2, 3, or 5 hours. So let's do a 3-hour self-clean. All right. The oven is locked. Okay, so the skillets have cooked in the oven on self-clean, and you can see everything came off of it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this little bit of rust color that is beginning to form on there very quickly, might I add. We're going to get that off and any remaining residue. And what we're going to do is we're going to wash it with some Dawn. So I'm just going to start scrub-a-dub-dubbing with some Dawn. Let me turn the water off for a minute. Sure and get the handle, the outside of it, the inside of it. Wow, this is a really nice skillet to be, I think it said that it's made in Taiwan. Yeah, so this is an off-brand skillet, but the bottom is so much smoother than my skillet that I have. So apparently they had some good sand. Let me rinse that out. Woo, just spilled it on me too, didn't it? Gonna be a good one. All right. Dry my hands. So now I'm gonna dry this skillet very good. If I were to leave it without anything on it right now, it would rust really bad. So the next order of business is putting the first coat of seasoning back on it while it's still warm. And I'm just coating it with some Crisco. Coat it all over with some Crisco. And like I said, I'm no expert because this is my first time actually doing it to an iron skillet. My iron skillets were already seasoned, but one of these skillets that I'm doing is one of my skillets, and I'm just re-seasoning it, so I took everything off of it. It had started to lose seasoning in one area. All right. And I'm going to wipe off the excess so that there's no run lines when it gets into the oven. just using old t-shirt material. We don't ever really just throw anything away. We reuse it. We wash the material and reuse it for grease rags when working on the tractor, or in this case, re-seasoning iron skillets. I'm going to put these that I completed back in the oven at 200 degrees for 10 minutes. Okay, so now while it's still hot, I'm going to put some more oil in it. See how it's just melting into it? You pick this one up, get a little bit on the outside. This is where you're going to get that nice black look for a typically gray metal. All right, so now I'm going to wipe off the excess again. Okay, so now when I put these skillets in the oven at 300 degrees for 15 minutes, I'm gonna take them out and wipe them off just to get any excess oil that comes up from the pores. Get it off of there, and then I'm going to return them to a 375 degree oven for 3 hours, and they should be seasoned. That should complete the seasoning cycle. I want y'all to see this real quick though. If you notice the inside of this skillet here, it's real rough and grainy. This one was made in China, and this is not one of the better skillets. Now this one was made in Taiwan, and it is much better. It's still not a Griswold or a Lodge or a Wagoner ware, but it does have a much better and smoother surface on it. It's more like the Wagoner and the Griswold. All right, I'm taking these out now and gonna wipe them down one last time to make sure there's no more oil running on them anywhere, so we don't get any runs. Okay, I'm going to show you. It's in there. It's in there on the final run of it. I've got it at 375 for 3 hours, and that should complete the first cycle. Now, if for some reason it's not as coated or seasoned as I want it, I can take it out, put more oil on it, wipe it down, and put it back in at 375 for another 3 hours. So let's just see what it looks like when it comes out in a little bit. Okay, so you can see that there's 2 hours left, and the skillets are cooking in there. So you can see it's getting kind of smoky, and that should put a good seasoning on them. Now, if we need extra time, we will do extra time, but right now we got 2 hours left. So I've taken these out of the oven now after the 3 hours, and you can see how tremendously clean these cast iron pieces look. I may do another seasoning on them, which would be just adding some more oil and cooking for another 3 hours. But right now, these look extremely good. There is absolutely zero buildup left on these. So I really like the oven method, the self-cleaning oven method. But I do think I will do another coat of seasoning because they are a very light black color. And I want them a darker black. So let's just season them again. But right now, I just kind of wanted to show you that method. And Tony is doing his method on his channel. And he and I are going to talk about which method we like best. Okay, so what we like and what we don't like. First of all, let's look at the inside of the pieces. Show the inside of your piece. Okay, if you can see, there's absolutely no buildup in the skillet, and in his pot, you can still see just a little bit, just a tiny bit of reflection there. So I think that the self-cleaning oven method is actually the better method, in my opinion. Now, he might think something different, but I just really think that that worked the best. Now, what I liked was the fact that it got everything off. It took it down to bare metal. So it's basically starting completely over with a bare metal skillet. What I did not like, and it wasn't something that bothered me a bunch, Tony might say something totally different, but the smell in the house, it can get pretty rough. When you're doing the self-cleaning oven method, you smell that cooking off for 3 hours. And then when you're seasoning in the oven, you get that same smell basically again while the oil is cooking into the metal. Now, what do you like and what do you not like?
You know what? It was all fun. So anytime that you get to take something like that, that's just awful, nasty, rusty, and get to bring it back to a point that it can be used again, it was fun. I had a ball. So I used 3 different methods. So altogether, Kat and myself used 4 different methods to clean cast iron with. And we got all of them off of YouTube, so you can't really take credit for any of them. But all the methods were different methods that we pulled. I tell you something else that's crazy too about YouTube. Like the video that we made about, or the video that's on my channel about using the vinegar to clean the Dutch oven with. When I watched one video, the guy just, don't leave it in over 30 minutes. And then another guy that you watched, he left it in for like 3 days. And I'm going, well, so,
everybody's different.
Yeah, you don't know what the real process is. So do what works for you. I was a little skeptical about leaving it in for long periods of time. So I done it like 20 or 30 minutes and then clean and soak it for 20 or 30 minutes and clean. And it come clean. It really did. So
what did you dislike?
I didn't dislike anything. It was fun.
I think I would have disliked all the messiness of it.
It was messy. That's part of being outside. That's why we was outside, is to contain the mess outside where I can wash things down with a hose pipe instead of being in the house. So
I get enough messy out in that barn with those animals, so I want to do clean stuff inside. Okay, well, this wraps it up. So you just have to decide for yourself which method you like best, but do go to Tony's channel and watch his method, because I wasn't out there. All I know is that I saw his grimy hands after he was done, and I know that it got messy. And I carried him some water out there too, but watch his channel and see what you like and what you don't like about it. And if you want to clean some cast iron, just get in there and try one of them. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Y'all clean some cast iron, be prepared, and farm on.